name is John Gamble, and I am a professor of dance emeritus at UNCG. I taught there for over 25 years. Before that, I was department head of dance at Temple University in Philadelphia for 10 years. I have a dance company and have been active in presenting work for, probably 40 years now, 50 years. Jan Van Dyke and I have known each other since 1963, when I was 20 and she was 22. We rented a studio together in Washington, D.C., in Georgetown. I converted that studio into a small theater, a very small theater, and one of our goals was to give dance that was going on in Washington, D.C. more visibility. So we created a performance series that probably was maybe 6 to 8 shows a year that would run over 2 weekends each show, and invited choreographers and dance companies from Washington, D.C. area to perform in that series. Local companies might perform once a year if they were lucky. And our feeling was that choreographers were going to get better and dancers were going to get better. They needed more performance experience than that. In 1985, I came to Greensboro as department head of dance. And in probably 86 or 87, Jan wrote me a letter that said she was looking to do doctoral work. After she finished that program, the dance department hired her to be on the faculty. And soon after that, soon after she was hired, Jan and I formed a company together called Gamble Van Dyke Dance Company and started showing work around the state. But at the same time, we were also talking about the possibility of creating some kind of venue, harkening back to the Georgetown workshop, that would feature dance from this region. So we decided to give it a try, and our first year was just one weekend of performances at the UNCG Dance Theater and was called the Dance Festival. Basically, Jan took care of most of the communications with choreographers and companies and getting their information for our publicity and so forth. And I took care of the design end of it. I designed the brochures and the posters and postcards and all that, but I also designed all the lights for the performances. It started out as an invitational festival where Jen and I invited people. And that was practical. In the beginning, we had to encourage people to be part of this. It wasn't like we could say, well, just apply. But of course, eventually there were enough groups going on in the state that there had to be some sort of filtering process. So the festival switched over to an application process where you apply to be part of it. The culture of dance nationwide has changed. There is a lot more going on in small and medium cities than there was in 25 years ago, 30 years ago. So young choreographers are more willing to stay home and develop their work than they were before. We call something modern dance, but it's such a broad term. There's so many things included under that name that if you go to a concert that's called modern dance and you hate it, you never want to go see one again, but you may never see anything like what you saw that particular time again. I think the festival helps somewhat with that by spreading things around, not people have a chance to see. Well, on one program you see probably 4 or 5 choreographers, which means you get 4 or 5 different points of view about what dance can be. And that, in a way, I think helps the less initiated get into the whole idea of what this art form is, rather than going to see a company which does one kind of work.